Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Adventures of Billy and Clyde.
Hello.
Today we got
My name's Billy.
Today we got a good friend here. I used to work for this guy. He gave me my first job in New York. Damn, I would have been really messed up without that job. But yeah, okay. So he gave me my first job in New York. He owns the Brooklyn Tree in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Right there.
Great guy. He's from Brooklyn. Today we got Gilbert Marte. Is it Marte?
Gilbert.
Marte.
All right. Now we got Gilbert Marte, the owner of the Brooklyn Tree in Williamsburg.
Okay, come on now.
Restaurant.
Thanks for coming on, Gilbert.
Appreciate
Thanks
y'all.
for
Pleasure to
coming.
have you. He also brought us sandwiches.
Yeah, he did.
And a hat.
Hold on. We're about to do a sandwich reveal right now.
Oh, wait. I got to get mine,
Let's
okay?
see what the sandwich is looking like.
These are both pesto chicken sandwiches.
Pesto chicken.
My favorite. I feel like you've had one before.
I don't know.
And when I did the
Let's
pop
check
up,
the
that was when we
pesto chicky.
You said custom or pesto?
pesto chicken sandwich.
All right, look. We gotta give him the whole little thing. That joint, you can tell
Double
when the
wrap.
grease look like that. This shit about to be crazy.
Ooh.
Let's see something
Look
real
at that,
quick.
folks.
Oh, you already showed him. Damn, bro.
Yeah, look. Ooh. Woo!
Yeah, that's good.
Woo!
That's
Gilbert,
good.
you dog.
Yeah,
It's my
that's
favorite
good.
sandwich on there
All
right now.
first
Was this
bite. Cheers.
mozzarella?
Mozzarella.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Salute.
Incredible. You don't even tell them how it tastes like.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not allowed to know how it tastes, viewer. You got to go to the Brooklyn Tree.
Whoa,
It tastes
time out.
good. That's all you need to know.
What's going on with this? Oh, what's pesto?
Sun-dried tomatoes?
Sun-dried tomatoes.
Sun-dried
And
tomatoes.
regular
You know your stuff.
Sun-dried tomatoes, regular tomatoes, chicken. This is a chicken schnitzel, right?
Chicken, regular grilled chicken.
Okay,
What are
regular
the-
grilled chicken. There's pesto on
The
this, right?
schnitzel's the breaded one. Yep, we got the pesto,
Jesus.
mozzarella.
I mean, I'm
This
hungry
one
right
wasn't
now.
on the
You
menu
tell me.
when Clyde was there, so
So look,
So, Clyde, what did you do at the Brooklyn Tree?
I also didn't. I don't remember knowing that was Clyde's first job in New York, but it made a lot of sense.
that was my first job. I was like homeless as shit. I didn't have no money. I walked in.
Yeah, I don't think you were homeless though.
No, I wasn't homeless. Yeah, so I walked into the Brooklyn Tree, and like this is kind of how restaurants work. I walked into the Brooklyn Tree, and was like, "Yo, I was wondering if you guys are hiring. Like, I need a job." He was like, "Yeah, go home, change, come back. We need you now." It was kind of like that.
Clyde walked in. You were with somebody else though. But
Oh, yeah, I was.
I think he might still have them because I feel like I still see them in like pictures. But he walked in with like some sunglasses, like a polo shirt. I was like, oh, if you're coming for video footage, like I don't have access right now. You're gonna have to give me like. 10
Oh, you thought it
minutes.
was a cop?
Yeah, he definitely looked like a cop. And then when he asked for he was like, "Oh, are you guys hiring?" And I was like, "Oh, it's way easier." Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's because you
But yeah, I don't know if the polo and the shades is the look we're going for.
you probably like were scared.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause
thought they were.
you thought he was a cop, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"No, I just want a job." And you're like, "Oh, okay,
Sometimes
fine, sure, yeah,
sometimes
yeah."
undercovers come in for like video footage. I thought that's what that was.
That's a good idea.
he
You
has-
should go to places and
yeah.
like trying to make them think you're a cop.
You have
and then ask for
you
a
have
job,
the
they're gonna be-
undercover cop look, especially
Yeah,
with the shades.
no,
on.
I definitely do. Actually, for last Halloween, I dressed up as a cop, but I just wore an all black suit and just like a fake badge. But the fake badge looked too real, and I already looked like a cop. I walked into a pizza shop with like all Mexican dudes working there, bro. They shut that shit down. Like, hey, sir, they all tried to take my order at the same time. That shit was crazy.
Brooklyn Tree was your first stop, though, right?
Yeah. Brooklyn Tree was my first job.
Was that the first restaurant you went to, or first spot you went to look for a job?
No. I went to a bunch of different like places in restaurants. So actually, I went to my first. Actually, I had a job before the Brooklyn Tree. I worked at a Mediterranean restaurant. It had just opened. I don't know if you remember. It was like around the corner. It was like Apollonia or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
So it was close. And then I had it because in college I worked at a Mediterranean restaurant. So I had on my resume that I worked at a Mediterranean restaurant.
Yeah.
But it was like a fast food restaurant. Like things are going out in like 10, 15 minutes, like the Brooklyn Tree, right?
Yeah.
So I go to this restaurant. It's like a 5-star restaurant, and I have Mediterranean on my thing. And he's like, "Yo, like," and I was there like 4 years, whatever.
I do know where it was like a Manhattan Avenue.
Yeah, Manhattan Avenue.
Hey, that's where I live.
So I get there, and then the dude's like, immediately he comes down, he's like throws 4 octopus on the table, like, yo, clean these octopus. And I was like, yo, I quit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what to do. So yeah, and then I went to the Brooklyn Tree. I will say the best part about working at the Brooklyn Tree, and especially for someone who's like, you know, broke and like really trying to struggle in New York, Gilbert gives all of his employees meals.
Right.
So I would go there and just get the most food I can get, and then just take it home. So I want to thank you for that.
Gilbert's a good guy. What did you do though?
I was a utility guy.
Yeah, Clyde did. When I said, you know, usually when people walk in, I don't even remember if I looked at his interview, his resume, or had an interview. I think I just said like, what are you looking for? Like front of the house, back of the house. He's like, oh, I know how to do everything. Like, said you know how to cook. I was like, have you? Because I was like, that's the only questions. I like, do you cook? He was like, yeah. And so Clyde did cashier. I think he did some line cooking, but mostly cashiering because
you guys have waiters?
No, it's
because
counter service.
Why'd I do mostly cashiering?
Because there was not much experience on the line cook, but like on the desperate days he was working the line. I think with me, I think he only worked on the line when I was working on the line.
I have a question. Clyde has a history of fatness.
Yeah, no, that was. I think that was his
working at a
peak.
restaurant. Does that make you more or less likely to hire somebody if they're fat? Are you worried they're going to eat all your food?
Usually, like the
this
best
person
cooks,
knows food?
yeah, they know food. Usually, the best cooks got some weight on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I believed him when he said he knew how to cook and do everything. And then when I could see, I don't know if the octopus story was him walking out or they were like, all right, that's it. Like,
yeah.
Because threw 4 octopus in front of Clyde. I don't know if he'll know what to do with them. But
I don't remember if I actually quit or got fired, but I do know I was relieved when it happened. I was like, all right, yeah.
I've never not been relieved. I've been fired a few times, and it's always been good news to me.
Yeah. Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been fired?
Yeah,
from jobs?
Wait. Yeah, that one.
Octopus.
I
thought you quit.
Yeah,
he said
I don't remember.
Now your story changed.
Maybe I just like didn't show up or something, or
he probably told him he knew how to cook, and then they were like, "All right, here, cook these octopus up," and he was like, "All right, where do I start?"
No, he wanted me to clean them, and you ever like clean an octopus? Like it's really,
never done that.
Yeah, what you do, you got to rub the skin off, and I couldn't do it because you can't break it. So I just couldn't do it. I was just breaking them, and then I was just like, all right, I can't.
Yeah, octopus.
I can't do this. But yeah,
Stumped by the octopus.
I actually did do so. I did prep for a little bit
at the Brooklyn Tree.
Yeah, but I did.
He did like everything.
Yeah,
might have even taken deliveries at some point.
Yeah. The reason I did everything because he tried me at highest difficulty level to lowest, and he was just like, all right, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. But realistically, I was just kind of lazy, and I did get in trouble. Well, she because me and Gilbert like we were working, but like he was my boss, but like we're the same age, we like all the same stuff, so we were just friends. So I got one complaint. The girl said I was racist.
Yes. What'd you say?
I don't know. I was saying what was this boy's name was Hoshue, and I just kept like saying his name, saying his name weird. So one thing that like just speaking about like Hoshue or whatever.
Hoshue, can you see?
Okay, yeah, I should have hit him with that.
Yeah,
but so one thing that I see because like Gilbert's like such a nice guy, but I have seen you had to like fire people. Like is that like something that like that you hate or like because I know you have to do it. It's like a relief kind of when they're gone, but like do you hate?
Yeah,
like, you hate it.
Yeah, it's not the best part of the job. Sometimes when they deserve it, it feels like kind of good, but usually not.
I will say it's probably different to fire somebody. No offense, because I've worked in restaurants many years, but to fire somebody from like a restaurant job is different than firing somebody from like a job with benefits who has a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every time when I worked at restaurants, like I remember one time they made Christmas a blackout day. They were like, you can't request off on Christmas. If we tell you you're working on Christmas, you're working.
Yeah.
And then they put my name on the schedule for Christmas Day. And I was like, I'm not working on Christmas Day.
Right.
And they were like, well, it's a blackout day, so you can't take off. I was like, well, figure it out, because I'm telling you right now, I will not be here on December 25th. And they were like, okay. And I was like a pretty good waiter. Like it was a revolving door of waiters because it was hard for them to find good waiters. And I was pretty good. So they were like, well, listen, we don't want to do this, but like if you don't come in on Christmas, we're gonna fire you. And I was like, okay, like I'll go get another job.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
like
hard thing.
I can easily find another job.
That's the
waiting
bad
tables.
thing. Like, there's so many people that are like, especially when I first started, it was like, oh, I remember the first Mother's Day we were open, which was pretty soon after we opened. Like, we had our line cook set, and there was just there's a lot of no call, no shows. Like, oh, Mother's Day, or it was like a Dominican guy, you know, like to party. So sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't know this party was happening at my house today. Like, not going to work, no call, no show, but I'll find another job tomorrow. I feel like they just assume like, all right, yeah, I'll just find another job tomorrow. I'll get fired today, or show up and be like, am I fired? And if they are, it's like, all right, well,
that's why you gotta hire illegal immigrants.
Yeah, yes.
What?
But even still, they like to drink also, and like, you would think that solves the problem, but it doesn't really.
I really miss like working at a restaurant.
Yeah, it feels like you're working with a family.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does. Like, everyone has each other's back. It's like a team. It's like a teamwork job.
Definitely at the Brooklyn Tree. I feel like bigger restaurants might lose that feel, but definitely at the Brooklyn Tree feels.
But one of the funniest things about working at a restaurant is how how mad the morning crew gets at the night crew every day.
Oh yeah,
they don't restock anything.
Yeah, there's all those. I've seen all those like Instagram videos, but I was like, it's literally like that.
Yeah,
and how like the morning crew thinks like the night crew has it easy, or vice versa.
Right. How long did you work there?
And I worked there for maybe almost a year, probably.
Yeah.
And then and I was still late all the time, which is crazy.
Yeah, he was late all the time.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I was right down. I was right down.
That was probably the worst part of Clyde. You never knew what time he was gonna show up, but it was definitely never on time.
So I will say, like, about you firing people. One of the funniest ones to me was So he told me he was gonna fire this guy, and then the guy shows up to work, and Gilbert just fires him immediately. And I was like, "Yo, he lived in the Bronx." I was like, "Yo, why didn't you call him?" I was like, "Why didn't you call him?"
See, he probably deserved it.
Why'd you have him ride from the Bronx so you can fire him? That was funny. But yeah,
was it after like a no call, no show?
No. He was drinking. He was taking shots.
Oh yeah, Derek. That was
Derek.
Sorry, Derek.
Yeah.
Your time has come, buddy.
He was cool too, but
he was cool, but he was just drinking.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Do you ever like fire somebody at the end of their shift?
Yeah, if I need them there for that shift.
That's so mean, Gilbert.
That is great. Yeah. Gilbert, like he covers a lot of shifts as well. Like when someone calls out, Gilbert's there. So if you go to Brooklyn Tree, I'd say 60-70% chance that you'll see Gilbert. So go to Brooklyn Tree and say what's good.
Yeah, I'm almost always there.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I've had like days, definitely, because I worked at a diner when I was in college. So it'd be like Sunday morning, 8 a.m. That's when my shift would start. And I was just thinking, like, I've definitely had days where if I walked in at 8 a.m. and they were like, "Hey, you're fired," I'd be like, "Dang,
Thank you, dog.
Thank God." But if I worked and then it was 4 p.m. and they were like, "Oh, by the way, don't come tomorrow," I'd be like, "Come on, man, you could have told me that 12 hours ago."
Yeah. There was like recently there was a girl that came in. Not so recent. I haven't really switched cashiers, but the last time I was looking for cashiers, she came in. This was maybe like it was like her first couple weeks. I think it was her first time working with this other cashier. But anyway, she was working, and I said something like, I told her to finish clearing out the dishes. She didn't finish them, but she was just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do any more dishes, because I've done enough." And I was like, "All right," but it was like really busy at that moment.
All right.
That shift was busy. Yeah, she's like, "I've done enough," and I
love that. I'm gonna start using that.
I was like,
work.
"All right," but
so in your head you're like, "She's fired," but okay.
Yeah, but I was like, so in my head I was like, she's that's it. She's fired after the shift, right? Because I still need her to finish helping out.
What's the funniest or lamest excuse an employee's ever given you for like either not coming to work or not doing the work?
Well, the first one that came to mind was somebody called out one time, and he called out for like the next day. So it was like Monday. He was like, "Hey, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it tomorrow because my girl's sick today, so I'm probably gonna be sick tomorrow." And I was like, "So you're calling out?"
I had a guy I used to work with who he would send pictures of him on the train ride home. And he would just send, like, say you're the person next to me on the train. So he would take a picture of, like, you and then send it in our group chat and be like, this asshole's coughing all over me. And then we'd all be like, okay, 100% Tom's calling out tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
And he would do it every single time.
Okay, yeah.
He thought he was so
would
slick when he
preempt
would
it.
plant the seed the day before. But we
That's
all,
hilarious.
we all
Yeah,
knew it was coming.
when people send pictures, it's always like I always know it's a lie. Like they're always like it always seemed like there was one that sent a picture in like on a hospital bed, but you couldn't really see much besides the bed and like legs. And I was like, this could have came off the internet. I usually believe it less when I see a picture.
But do you appreciate someone going through the effort to lie to you? Like,
It's
No.
like
if I worked for you and I called you up and I was just like, hey man, I'm just hungover. I'm not.
yeah, no, I'd rather the honesty. But if I know you're lying, like,
But you would
it's like
prefer
kinda-
that. You would prefer me to just be like, yo, I'm hungover. I'm
Yeah,
not coming
yeah.
in today.
Yeah.
Then if I was like,
Yeah, because
Try to like do a bullshit lie.
yeah, I rather hear that you're hungover. But but yeah, there's been a couple times. There's somebody sent me
Make
a
sure
picture
you
with him like on the
talking to
bed, like sleeping, like saying that he's sick. I was like, don't.
sent you a picture of him like
Yeah,
that?
he's like this on the bed. I was like,
He's taking a selfie. Like, that's
takes a
great.
selfie of him on the like throwing
yeah,
up into
exactly.
the toilet.
He's like,
All right, so
What's the funniest excuse you've ever given for why you can't come into work or why you're late?
the funniest excuse that I've ever given,
Have you ever
like killed anyone?
like pretended like
Someone died.
someone died or like someone's about to die or anything like that?
Uh,
That's the
yeah.
highest level of
yeah.
Hey, you'd be
I don't-
surprised how many people put death
death
on
in the
people.
family.
Yeah. I don't really know. I'm not really a big liar, but I will say moving to New York was really like, because I'd be like, oh, the train's messed up every single time. I'd be like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah, yeah.
I'd be like, yo, it's like an hour. Like,
Yeah.
they'd be like, yo, you're an hour late, but yo, the train was bugging. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's probably the wildest excuse. What about you?
I mean, I've used like, my alarm didn't go off, which isn't a great excuse, but I just remember it not being true at all. Like my alarm, one time I was supposed to be into work at like 9, alarm went off at 8:30. I woke up and I was just like, nah, I'm gonna go back to sleep until my alarm didn't go off. Which works just as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's
There
good.
was one guy that also like within the last year that he said he got arrested, but I didn't believe it also. So this guy was also, he worked really well. He just went missing for like almost a whole week. But he showed up and he was actually really good. Like I liked him a lot and he learned really quick. You could tell he worked in restaurants. And then like he worked well for like 3 weeks and then he just didn't show up to his shift or the next shift or the next shift. And then I assumed he just quit. But then he came back like almost a week later. And he's like, oh, my phone, my phone I lost my phone or I had some issue with my phone and I was calling AT&T and then like it was a whole big thing, like something about his daughter. And I was like, but you could call like any phone, using any phone to call the restaurant and say like, hey, this is happening. Or he lived in Ridgewood. I was like, he didn't live like in the Bronx. I was like, you can just like walk, you could have walked over like if anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was like, he worked so well that I was like, all right, I'll give you
if
another
you're
chance.
a good worker, you'll.
And he did the same thing. Like he worked like 3 more weeks. He was working perfect, and then he was gone for like another week. And then when he came back, he was like, it was like the time where he's Mexican, but he was born he's American. But it was the time where all the ICE news was going around. So he comes in, he was like, yeah, I got arrested for jumping the turnstile, but then I didn't have my ID on me, so they brought me to the precinct. Then he said they fingerprinted him. He had an outstanding warrant for I think for an open container, like for like 5 years ago or something like that. But then he said he just got out like that same day. So let's say it was Friday. Next Friday, he came back to work. He was like, I just got out this morning. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know why they would keep you for a whole week just for not having your ID. I was like, no, you had nobody to bring the ID to the precinct. But I was like, if you bring me your discharge papers and tomorrow, like you could work. Like if the story's true, like if you just got released today or if you even got arrested. Because he had a lot of details, so I was like, this might be true. He was like, it was me and 3 people. We walked through the gate, and then they got all of us. He was like, but they only took me and one other girl because she started talking crazy, and me because I didn't have an ID. Like, he had like a good amount of details in his story.
Was he telling the truth?
I told him come back. He was like, could I still work? I was like, you bring your papers and your story's true, and it shows you got discharged today, like
How
you
old
could
was
come
he?
into
How old
That's
was
really
he?
he
funny
was
to
he
be
was
like,
our age also.
If you're telling the truth about being arrested, you can work here.
Yeah. You're hired.
If you didn't
You're
actually
rehired.
get arrested, you can't work here anymore.
And then he actually never came back. So
Yo,
I
that-
assume
if
he
you
didn't
really
have
got
it.
arrested, you still have your job.
Are you lying about being arrested?
And he never came back, so I assumed it wasn't true.
That's so funny.
But
Maybe
it was
he
a
got
good one. It was
deported,
creative. He
No,
did.
he
He
was-
did.
he's
He was
from
he was from here. Yeah.
Apparently,
He
there's
had-
more to
he had-
everybody. I don't know.
yeah,
He's gonna
exactly.
Come
yeah.
back. Okay, so how long has Brooklyn Tree been open for?
10 years. This May.
10 years. Wow, that is huge.
How did it?
10-year
Why'd you call it Brooklyn Tree?
That's what it's called, the Brooklyn Tree.
What I named
No,
it
I
that.
know. I'm saying why did
Not
you
why
name
you
it
call
that?
it that.
I'm not saying why
Okay.
did you call it that.
I'm obviously setting something up.
Oh, my fault.
What the fuck was that? Oh my
You need to
god!
work on your temper. Go ahead.
All right, so it's been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. So I was reading a stat today that 60% of restaurants close within the first year.
Yeah.
So
I heard about the stats like that, like after I opened my restaurant. I didn't know about those before. but-
You wouldn't have. Yeah. So what do you think? Why do you think the Brooklyn Tree has been able to last so long, and other restaurants, they kind of fold in the first year, 10 years?
That's a good question.
Mainly because I'm there all the time, but also like when I opened the Brooklyn Tree, I grew up in the so I don't know if even you know that, but the Brooklyn Tree, where the Brooklyn Tree is at the first floor, that's the apartment I grew up in. So I lived literally there on that block almost my whole life. But there was nothing like that in the neighborhood. Like there's like pizza, Chinese food, like nothing with like quality, healthy in that area. So I feel like there was like a need for it. So one, like I knew the area and knew what was missing from there. But also like I'm always there. So like a lot of places, even, when I started the Brooklyn Tree, it was like, all right, I didn't really have like a lot of restaurant experience, but I've been to a lot of restaurants and I was like, I never really see the owner there. It doesn't seem too hard. Like it seems like they run pretty much themselves, but it's nothing, that's not how it actually is in real life. So once I started the restaurant, I was like, all right, well, now I have to be here. But I feel like a lot of people still try to like, distance themselves or like just keep everything running without them being there. And no matter like how smooth everything is, like nobody's going to work the same as like when the owner's there. Nobody's going to care as much.
I was gonna say nobody cares as much.
Yeah,
as you
so
do.
me being there is like I make sure everything's the same way. I take a bunch of deliveries. Like something's about to be late, make sure it's there on time.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody called and they're missing like their cookie they ordered. Like I'll go get it to them, so that everyone And a lot of places don't do that. So I feel like that was like, especially when we started, like, and it's even still to today, it's a small place. So we do mostly takeout, a lot of delivery. So getting that delivery set up and making sure like everything was there on time, like all of their food was there quick, warm, fries were still crispy. I feel like that's
How
what set us
often
up.
do you like say you're just like not feeling it today? Because like we all have jobs, right, where you're not feeling it and you can kind of go just not feel it, phone it in, right? But you're the
Yeah.
owner of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
restaurant. So if a customer comes in and they're like having a bad experience, you have to either care or pretend to care
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Do you have to like give yourself a speech all the time? Or just be like, all right, fine, here.
No, I think when
I'll
I'm
pretend to care that you don't have mayo on your sandwich.
I think
Just
when
so
I'm
you-
in the Brooklyn Tree is like that's like my energy vibe. Even if it's like I'm not feeling it, like while I'm there, it's gonna look like I'm feeling it. Like I don't really describe myself as like a person that likes to talk a lot or like very outgoing, but like the people that know me from the Brooklyn Tree are like, even like the workers, they're like, oh, Gil loves to talk. Like, oh, he's I come across more of like an extrovert while I'm at the restaurant. Yeah. But
did you always want to start your own business?
So
Yeah,
so you think
Hey, man, I just asked a question.
you think but we're doing second and third layer questions.
I did.
So-
That's the third layer.
So you think what separates you from what separates your
Yeah,
restaurant
I
with
feel
people
like
going
if
is because you are there and you actually care.
yeah, I feel like most places that don't really make it. I mean, the restaurant industry is tough with the like profit margins and everything, but I feel like most people that don't make it is because they they don't want to be as present as, and it's a little easier for me also because I live above the restaurant, so like it's easy for me to like, oh, something happened, like, oh, I'm there, but it has its pros and cons, you know, like because I'm always there. I always feel like I have to be there and making sure everything's going right. But yeah, that's what helped us a lot. And I feel like the ones that don't make it is like the owners just end up giving up more than anything. Like it takes a while before you're profitable. It takes a while, and then you know, when you have things like bad reviews or bad experiences, like, you know what, like,
yeah, bad reviews, it kills you.
Yeah, especially in the beginning of
we really should get rid of reviews. We shouldn't be allowed to review. It's not fair to these business owners.
Yeah,
crankpot,
and then
come in,
you know,
give them 1 star and then they're screwed.
Yeah, even like it's not like I hate 4 stars, but when I get 4 stars, like, oh, come on. And usually it's like, oh, awesome restaurant, like I love this place. Like, all right, well, right now we have a 4.5, so your 4 star is bringing me down. Like,
it'll be like a little thing that they're upset.
And it's way easier to get a 1-star review than a 5-star review. Because anybody that has a bad, you know,
because people are negative.
Yeah,
like, people have a great time. They're not like, oh, let me go leave a 5-star review.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad time. Yeah, there's a lot of people like the reviews I hate the most are like when people were like, oh, usually I love this restaurant, but today like this happened. I was like, well, where was my review? Like all the times you love the restaurant,
right? You should. Yeah, there should be a new system. Maybe we could do like you have to leave. And a certain amount of 5-star reviews before you can even leave. I don't know, something. I just feel like people shouldn't have the authority or the power to just go ruin somebody's business.
Yeah, because they are important. So
and getting like reviews, even if you know like they're not real reviews, like getting a review off is like almost impossible.
Do you remember off the top of your head like a review where it said something that you were just like, come on? Like that's what you're
like. It haunts you. Like one review.
There's a lot of reviews. The review that I hated the most really is it's not like, oh, come on, this is what you're complaining about, but it's was one of my first reviews. It was my first 1-star review for sure. But it was from somebody that I know didn't even eat at the restaurant, and they said something like this. Mind you, like the grilled cheese tomato soup right now is. I forget the price, but it's something like $16. But back when I started 10 years ago, it was $11. And the review said, $11 for grilled cheese tomato soup. Get out of our neighborhood. Get out of our neighborhood. Like, they don't even use good bread. Mind you, it's my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But which reminded me of another review that I'll get to afterwards. But then I like clicked on that person's account and I read all their other reviews, and it was all like cafes, and we're not a cafe. It looks like one, but it's like a sandwich shop, a small sandwich shop, American comfort food. But all the other reviews were like Dunwell Donuts that's down the block. There was Brother Bagels used to be around the block. Cup used to be like coffee shop that's also down the block, and they all gave them 1-star review. And then I was reading all of them, and they all like mentioned like, so mine was when they said like, and the bread they use suck that was like, that's weird because the bread I use is really good.
Yeah, it's great.
But
tomato soup is incredible.
Yeah, but I looked at all the other reviews and it was like, oh, Brother Bagels, like I just saw the owner walking out of Stella Bakery. Like if you want to skip the middleman, just go straight to Stella Bakery. That's where they get their bagels from, which is not true. Like Brother Bagels, I feel like they used to make their own bagels, but their bagels and Stella Bakery bagels way different. I was like, oh, I went to Cup. And I asked the cashier if they had fresh pastries. They were like, this is what we got. If you're looking for fresh pastries, go right next door to Stella Bakery. And then there was like another bakery around the block from that was like, oh, the chubby girl is at the registers, always has an attitude. Like, I don't know how she can treat customers like that when Stella Bakery is right around the block and they're so
Something
good.
Tells me this is a lady.
It wasn't a lady. It was a guy that owns Stella Bakery. And I was like, and I realized it because every single review, every single review was plugging Stella Bakery and like talking shit about all the other spots around there.
You should have left a nasty review for Stella.
And then the crazy part was they've been there forever, and I've been going to that bakery since I was like 6 years old. Like I know the dad, I know his son, I know their daughter, and they know I own that spot. So I was like, that's crazy because I would go there like every day. Damn. Haven't been there since then.
Is it still around?
It's still around.
Oh, damn. Do we need to cut that? Because
Sleep
that's
I don't care. No, I don't care.
that might be a clip. That might be a clip though, because that's
I don't know.
crazy.
I don't care. I mean, it's true. So
People, I feel like it would help their business to have people come to you, and then people
right,
are
and or
nearby,
me.
and
You know,
they're
if there was like somebody like when we didn't have coffee when we opened, if somebody was like, hey, do you guys sell coffee? I'd be like, no, but you could go down the block to Stella Bakery. Like that's my people. Like I've been going there for years.
Yeah.
Damn,
But
we got some
now it's
restaurant
like,
beef.
no, I don't.
Yeah, we should.
I don't
It
mess
shouldn't
with
be
them.
that
Like,
anyone can leave a review.
so that one was like crazy, and that was my first 1-star review. It was like more because when I opened, like instead of trying to help my business, like you're trying to hurt it and it was like when it counted more. Like right now, I get a 1-star review. It's like, all right, I have a bunch of other reviews, but then it mattered more. But it reminded me of another review. This one was a 3-star review, and this was probably like the one I responded to the longest. So I guess it was one of the ones that
They were really
it just really bothered me because they were like, they said something like she wrote a lot also, but she was like it was like a really busy brunch day, and you know we were working to get her a table, her and her group of friends, and we did 5-star service. Food was amazing. And I think she mentioned that she liked the food, but she was like that we were gentrifying the neighborhood, and that like seat hawking was a sport inside the Brooklyn Tree, which is like I'm always like organizing all the tables, but I
What's
guess
seat hawking?
like people like watching like to see if a table opens up so they could like run to grab it, where we gave her seat. But the part that bothered me most was her saying like that we gentrified the neighborhood, which I just found crazy because like out of all the places that are open in like Williamsburg, like I'm probably one of the like the 1% of people that actually grew up there that opened a business there. I was like, you picked the one spot.
Yeah,
This is
What
literally
is even
my
could
neighborhood.
be her argument that
Right,
you,
like I didn't get what she was saying, but she was a Spanish lady also. But
I mean,
I was like,
your restaurant is y'all do got tofu.
we have tofu, we have
your customers
avocado.
like white.
No, the neighborhood. I feel like around there, I feel like we have a good mix, and I feel like I keep the prices where it was like affordable for everybody, and try to get and like a mix.
How
of
do you
different
make?
things.
How do you decide a price? Do you have to like go?
Usually, like the cost is mostly the cost of everything. Like, and then
but
if
it's not
something
arbitrary at all. It's not like you're just like tuna sandwich.
right? Yeah, no. Some stuff like some stuff like might should be a little bit more expensive, but it's like, all right, well, I don't think they're gonna pay for that, and it'll balance out with this item. So
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you got.
All right, hypothetically, if I come into the Brooklyn Tree one day and I order, let's say, $18 worth of food and drink, and then it's time to pay. Come on, man. And then it's time to pay, right? And I just put like a bunch of dimes.
oh yeah, we've had that too. Like usually,
If I pay an $18 check with all dimes,
are they wrapped up already?
no.
Yeah.
I just actually they're in like my shirt, like I'm carrying them in like this, and then I spill them all over the counter.
I'll take them. I mean, we do use change.
Okay, let me
so-
ask you a follow-up question then. Okay, you take them that one time, and then the next day I appear again. Same thing, dimes. All right, like eventually.
Yeah,
you're gonna
eventually
be
I'm
like,
gonna
"Hey,
I have
brother."
too much change now. But usually I have to go to the bank to get change. So if somebody brings me like a bunch of dimes, it's like, all right, that saves me a trip from the bank with the dimes, so I'll take them. Same things. We've had people pay with like a bunch of quarters or dollars. And I was like, yeah, give me all the change you got.
If you had to start the Brooklyn Tree over again, what's something that you might do a little bit differently?
What a great question.
See, if I went back to that time, I would probably just put all that money in Bitcoin, be a multi-millionaire right now.
But no, like if
but-
they were like you can go back, but you have to start the Brooklyn Tree
Yeah, yeah.
again. What's maybe something that you would do differently?
We've never used like influencers and stuff. I feel like now if you have to open up a restaurant, I feel like you kind of need them. And I feel like when I opened like 2016, it was like more like optional to like
Can you
get.
explain what you mean by like you would hire an influencer as your opening to promote your stuff?
Yeah, like to.
Do you think most restaurants do that now?
I feel like if you open now, like I feel like you need like that social media presence, and you need like I feel like a lot of people like find where they're eating now. Like when we opened, it was more like Yelp, and I feel like now it's like TikTok, Instagram. Let me type in brunch and see what's around in the area. It does help. I never really wanted to use them because I wanted it to be more like word of mouth and like more organic growth. And also I like the pace that we grew because it was in the beginning like you make a lot of mistakes. when it's slower in the beginning, you get to figure everything out a little bit better and figure out how to keep everything running. So when it gets busy, but those people that get like influencers, and now they charge way more than they used to. But if I would have gotten like influencers in there in the beginning, like that, that cuts that. Oh, you don't make money for like the first 2-3 years to like, all right, we're making money from the beginning. We got lines of people coming out, and that just keeps flowing into more and more people.
So if you started over, you would try to get more influencers. So
yeah. I feel like the Brooklyn Tree always, we always had good food, and like whenever people go there, it's like, wow, this is amazing. But as long as the quality of your product that you're putting out is good, like you might as well try to get as many people in there as possible from the beginning.
So in New York specifically, what do you think is more important, the quality of the food or marketing?
Marketing. Well, really? for making money, marketing. If you're trying to have a long-lasting restaurant,
that's be the food.
Yeah, there's places that that they'll have 4 stars on everywhere, but they'll have lines out the door because they're
popular.
Yeah, they're.
I hate that.
Cool.
I hate how much power we've given to the.
Right, I'm not a fan of it either. And a lot of times, like, it's not like the best tasting food. It's just people now are making food.
Ambiance. That's
people making food for like, all right, how's this gonna look on Instagram? How is this gonna look when people will people take pictures of this and repost and post like that rainbow bagel? Like, probably I never had it, but it was everywhere for like a year. Like,
I mean, when I posted Brooklyn Tree, my shit goes crazy. I'm not gonna lie, because what I get the meatloaf. I get the
that's what I had today, a meatloaf.
Yeah, I get the meatloaf. I get the garlic mashed potatoes. And then I mix it up. I get the tomato soup, and I put it all in a bowl and mix it all up. It's like a meat tomato soup.
Never tried that, but
yeah.
Do your sandwiches or any of your food, do they have names? Like not
no, like the Clyde Mack.
Yeah,
that would be fire.
Should get the Clyde Mack.
It's just like the
that
what would be in your sandwich?
That blended up meatloaf plate is gonna be the Clyde Mack.
Yeah.
Secret menu item.
Clyde Mack. Yeah.
Meatloaf plate in a blender.
That would be it.
What would be in your sandwich?
My sandwich.
The Clyde Mack.
Okay, it would be.
Let me get a clizzle. What's a clizzle?
First off, it would be this. It'd be the pesto, because this shit is so good. But okay, so it'd be a chicken schnitzel. I'd have to have fried onions on it, like maybe like grilled red onions. Mm-hmm. I'd have tomatoes on it. I would have lettuce, and then I would have it's like brown. It's like brown sauce. It's like I don't know.
Root beer barbecue? No,
it's like maybe balsamic.
Balsamic?
Yeah. I would turn up. I feel like that'd be real good.
You want to know what's in the hock?
The hock, yeah, what's on the hock?
Salami, ham.
Okay.
Ready for this?
That sounds nasty.
Honey Dijon.
Nasty as shit.
Lettuce, tomato, salt, pepper, white onion, bread.
Damn, that joint was ass.
It's got to be a little different.
I'm going with the Clyde Mack. But
You're saying
that just sounded horrible.
well, I mean, it's different. You got to try some things.
True.
I'll ask another question. I'm eating.
All right. So owning a restaurant in New York, the Brooklyn Tree. So what do you think the best day of the week is for your restaurant, or maybe for restaurants in general? And what's the worst day of the week?
Yeah, for the Brooklyn Tree, the best days are the weekends. And I guess in general for restaurants, the best day would be the weekend. Because everyone's out, especially like summer weekends. Everyone's out and wants to, they'll eat brunch and then they'll go out to another spot. So it just gets there's a lot more traffic. Any day that nobody's working, like, so even Mondays on holidays or Fridays on holidays, those are the best days.
Those are the best, okay.
Weirdly, like, we do really good on Mondays because we do a lot of takeout and delivery, and I feel like Monday is the day like nobody, I guess, wants to cook. So there's always a increase in delivery numbers. For us, I'd say like Tuesday and Wednesdays are like the slowest. And that might be for everybody as well. But
that's true in comedy.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays be the slowest.
Yeah. That's when people are like wanting to like
take that off.
God, I worked so many times. That's when people like are like, all right, I'm gonna get my life together. I'm not gonna order out. I'm gonna lock it in.
Deliveries in general, like, I feel like people used to order out a lot, way more before COVID, because I guess the fees were just way lower.
During COVID, yeah.
Before COVID, like now they during COVID they did like a cap at like I don't know if everybody knows, but they charge most of them. They'll charge like Uber, let's say for example, charges 30% to the restaurant of whatever order comes in. But during COVID, they capped it at 20%. So instead of like just taking that 20% loss, which I feel like is still a good amount of money, getting 20% off everybody's order, they're like, oh, we'll just add a service fee and charge the customers an extra 10%. So they're still making that 10%, but they're making off the customers. And then after COVID finished, like they said, or recently, last couple of years, they said that they could go back to having that 30% cap. So they're back to getting 30% from the restaurant, but I feel like they didn't really change anything off the customer side, and that's what like now.
Wait, so I'm sorry, I'm stupid, but when I order something off Uber Eats from your restaurant, you have to pay
30% of whatever you order to Uber.
Is that worth it for you?
So the only way it's worth it for most people is they increase their prices on those apps, so it ends up being more expensive. But I guess people don't really mind it as much because we still get a good amount of orders off Uber and DoorDash and all
a sandwich is more on Uber Eats than
it is if you order from like our website or in-house.
Brooklyn Tree has its own delivery service, so if you want to save money,
if you're in a mile, but then Uber goes like 4 or 5 miles away from.
Oh wait, will it go to Ridgewood? Like I live by Maria Hernandez.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you go to? You won't go to Ridgewood.
Maria Hernandez, that might be like right on the edge.
Okay.
But yeah, you could probably call it in and get Josh out there.
All right, so why'd you go with the name, Brooklyn Tree?
Yeah, there we go. Brooklyn Tree is based off the book Tree Girls in Brooklyn. I don't know if either one of you read it, but there's a book called The Tree Girls in Brooklyn.
You're a grown man. You're talking about the Tree Girls in Brooklyn.
I read it. I feel like for the first time was in school.
On,
like it's one of those books like people read in school. But it's a book that's based in literally that neighborhood. It's a girl that grew up in that neighborhood in like 1900. So it was a different neighborhood back then also. But it was like mostly like Polish and Italian, but still like lower income. Wasn't like a great neighborhood, but like she made the best. She loved her neighborhood. There's a lot of friends, family, community, and that's what really the Brooklyn Tree is. That's the vibe we try to put out. That's the feeling you get when you're reading the book. Like she loves her community, the family. Has a little bit of the meatloaf actually came from reading the book because her mom makes a meatloaf in that book. We use Cafe Du Monde chicory coffee. She also drinks chicory coffee in there because it like. Well, now it's like, Cafe Du Monde doesn't use it's more like trending, but chicory was added to coffee back in the day to like extend the coffee, so like you don't have to rebuy coffee. It's like a way to make it like cheaper and last longer. And that's how she drank her coffee, so that's why we use coffee with chicory. But yeah, when you're reading the book, she'll like mention Grand Street, Messerol. It's like, oh, it's right here.
Messerol, that's where my YMCA is.
And the building looks kind of like where the Brooklyn Tree's at. If you look at like the picture of the building she grew up in, so it felt right.
So I actually love the Brooklyn Tree brunch. It's amazing, and you use grass-fed burgers as well.
Yeah,
they taste way different than regular burgers. By the way, have you ever had a grass-fed burger?
Well, the burger.
They taste.
Maybe I have.
Yeah, they taste.
Does that just mean the cows eat grass only?
Yeah. Well,
what are the other ones? What are they?
But they're like
cows eat Oreos or something.
They probably eat
the burgers I eat.
They're fed like some. Yeah, they're fed like some type of other mixed meal.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Yeah, but the meat is like way leaner.
Mm-hmm.
And but the burger was gonna taste. We make everything in house. Also, like the burger patties, our salmon patties. All our vegan patties are like they're not like Impossible burgers. They're like made in house. So we have like a beef burger, falafel burger.
So tell us a little bit about because I love Brooklyn Tree brunch, best brunch. Tell us a little bit about like your brunch menu. Like what do you got?
Brunch, a little bit of everything. We got the classics, avocado toast. We do chicken schnitzel and waffles. We have the vegan version. Well, it's vegetarian tofu schnitzel and waffles. Strata. Strata's like, it's hard to describe, but it's layers of bread, kale, mushrooms, cheddar. Bread, kale, mushroom, cheddar is all like in an egg batter. It comes out looking like 2 pieces of French toast, more like a quiche though.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah, shiitake mushrooms.
I got the menu right here.
We got our meatloaf bennies. We've got the vegetarian.
Meatloaf bennies, yeah,
meatloaf
that's
benny.
my stuff. And then so what's the meatloaf benny again? You get the meatloaf and you put the egg on top of it.
Yeah, it has the egg.
Yeah.
It has cheese on there, the red pepper glaze.
I'm
Then it
getting
has a
mad
side
hungry.
of salad, side of home fries. We got full breakfast, so classic eggs, home fries, salad, bread. The Becca burger. It's like a breakfast burger with bacon, egg, and cheese, avocado. What else is pancakes? Pancakes is probably my favorite thing on the brunch menu.
Pancakes, the blueberry pancakes.
butter.
Yeah,
let's
blueberry
Yo,
butter is fire.
They're so
go.
good.
Add a banana.
And you can add
$1
banana, those caramelized bananas on there.
Ooh.
I think that might be.
I think that's all. That's it.
everything on there. Yeah,
You gotta
but
sign-
they all sell pretty well. Like it's hard to say like what like when people ask for what should I get on the brunch menu, like it all sells like pretty equally as good.
Wait,
Do you
hold on, one sec. Buy one, get one bloody.
Oh, yep.
Buy one, get one
The happy
Bloody
hours.
Marys and mimosas.
Yeah, the happy hour special on brunch.
Wait, I get a Bloody Mary and a mimosa.
you
or
buy one. No, we have Bloody Marys and mimosas. So you could get one Bloody Mary, one mimosa, or you get two mimosas or two Bloody Marys.
I get one of these meals. I get.
No, that's what there's a special. There's a buy one get one Bloody Marys and mimosas. So they are. I think right now they're $9.
got it.
They're $9, so you get two for $9.
Do you do reservations on the weekends?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just solid
Buy
deal.
one, get one mimosas.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
start with that.
Good call.
for brunch.
Good call. So do you do reservations on the weekend?
No, we do first come first serve.
Do you have reservations? Okay.
We don't take reservations at all when we
Okay,
we'll have some type of a wait list, but just like us.
All right,
they're coming
all right.
next. They got the next table.
So I'm telling you right now. I mean, brunch is packed, so you're gonna have to get a reservation if you want to eat there.
Well, we just got our outdoor dining set up also, so it'll be easier to get tables. But
So-
in the wintertime, it's a little hard because our space isn't too big. But now we got
It's
a lot
counter
more space.
service, right?
Yeah, it's counter service.
Okay, so tables are first come.
Yeah, so we try to keep, especially on brunch where it'll get packed. We'll keep an order of the tables. If there's tables free, or you can sit at any of the open tables once they fill up. All right, just you have to be there. So it's like you can wait outside, but we'll remember like, all right, these guys are getting the next table, then those guys are getting the table after that.
You have
And-
food runners?
Yeah, well, the same cashiers, people that take your order at the front of the counter, they'll run the food also.
Gotcha.
All right, let me do this again. So yeah, I mean the Brooklyn Tree, it fills up. If you want brunch, you better fill out a reservation because you may not be eating that day. The Brooklyn Tree is American comfort food, right?
Yeah.
So tell us like some of the things that are on your menu, like your favorite things.
Yeah, the best everything that made the menu's probably been my favorite at some point. Like the pesto chicken's probably the newest thing on the menu. That's why it's my favorite sandwich right now. The best sellers of always been the grilled cheese tomato soups,
Incredible.
probably number one. We have a chicken schnitzel sandwich, just like a fried chicken sandwich with the tomato soups. Also is one of the better sellers. The Brooklyn Tree Burger,
Grass-fed
classic
burger.
And then I'd say the pesto sandwich is top four. The sleepers, the meatloaf. That's the one people don't.
That's
I feel
the
like
best.
meatloaf's a thing. Like you don't really like. Oh, the meatloaf is fire, but like the meatloaf at the Brooklyn Tree is fire.
Yeah, it's
Like I feel like it's
incredible.
something people see on the menu that they don't really order a lot. Or it's like, oh, you know what I really want right now is meatloaf, but it's fire. And people that like meatloaf, like they'll order that.
Salads.
Salads, the quinoa kale is one of the more popular salads that we have, which is pretty simple, but say massaged kale on there, so we get a little bit of the bitterness out, get those stems out. The dressing on there, honey mustard vinaigrette is super good, and then we have like a roast pumpkin salad, a big apple salad, cucumber tomato salad. We have some soups, sides, snacks, some desserts, not a lot. Caramel apple bread puddings, probably the best dessert on there. That's my favorite.
That's great.
Mac and cheese under snacks, probably my favorite snack.
Oh, the mac and cheese is
the
crazy.
mac and cheese is good. It's under snacks, but it's really like it's a filling mac and cheese. You can eat that as a meal. You have some empanadas, got milkshakes, we got floats.
Root beer float.
Yeah, root beer floats on there. It's a well balanced menu. You got a little bit of everything for everybody. Have a lot of vegan stuff, vegetarian stuff. We started out with just like one vegan sandwich, but like the neighborhood, became as it's like
white.
changed, it became more like there's a lot of people looking for vegan options, and especially there was a vegan diner on the block that closed down. Especially like when they closed down, we had a beef burger we make in house, falafel burger we make in house. We always had the veggie sandwich. The tofu schnitzel is probably the best selling veggie sandwich. We have a little bit of everything for everybody. We have gluten free options, vegan options, vegetarian.
Hell yeah.
So the Brooklyn Tree's been around for 10 years. Made it through COVID, all that stuff. So is there any point where you thought that it wasn't gonna work, when you were just like, oh, this isn't gonna work?
Not really. Like when I opened it, I was like, if anybody's gonna make this restaurant work, it's gonna be me. Especially once all the money spent, it's like, all right, now it has to work. So I never really thought it wasn't gonna work, but there are days where it's like, man, if this is like continues, like, COVID was probably like the scariest part, but also like I think we were in good shape. Like, sales dropped because there was no like walk-ins, but we were already set up to do like a lot of delivery, a lot of takeout. So like our online presence was already high, and then we started. I was more worried about being able to keep all the staff on, and then some staff. I think that's when you left. You went back to PA, and then some staff like were like scared to work, so they stopped showing up. So it all like balanced out where I didn't have to let anybody go, and we had just the right amount of work to keep everything flowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's now it's like the price of everything is so high. There's always like different challenges that you face, and it's never well for me in the last 10 years I never really was like, oh, now I could be comfortable, and like now I could like take a break and like or step back. But I always felt comfortable that while I'm there, everything's gonna work out.
Okay, yeah, that was a great answer.
That's good, man.
So one more thing, if you got to describe Brooklyn Tree in one word, what would it be?
Delicious.
Delicious.
That'll work.
I knew you were gonna say that. That was so generic. You gotta say one more word.
All right, wait. One different word.
Yeah, a different word.
I like delicious, for the record. I thought that
I do, but I knew he was gonna say it. As soon as I thought of the question, I was like, "This is what he's gonna say."
It's not. I can't think of a word for it, but the feeling of the Brooklyn Tree is like, and this is the vibe that I wanted it to be, but it's not me saying it, it's the people that come in. Like, oh, I felt like I was at home. Like, if you read our reviews, like, I felt like I was being welcomed into my house, and literally, like, that was my house. So, like, that's the vibe I was always trying to give. Like, like it was more of like a spot to for the neighborhood, for my friends. Like, welcome to the Brooklyn Tree is like welcoming them to my living room.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat? Like, more of a comfortable place for everybody to feel relaxed.
Customers didn't take their shoes off, right?
So he
no shoes. I mean, yes, shoes.
So I asked him. He failed that really bad. Asked for one word, and he literally said 14 sentences.
He said home.
Homie.
That's it.
Home.
Yeah,
Home.
Home.
Okay, he didn't. Okay, he just said it.
Brooklyn Tree is home.
Home.
I mean,
There you go.
Yeah, so we're
That's a commercial.
That's a good word.
we're good to go.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That was amazing.